He's going to steal home without a play.
Coming up, we'll have a recap of the previous Padres game, a preview of today's starting pitching matchup, and our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Mike Shildt. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Today the Padres take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the first game of a 3-game series. Our starting pitching matchup today for the Dodgers, right-hander Landon Knack, and for the Padres, right-hander Michael King. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you inside Dodger Stadium here in LA. First pitch coming up at 7:10 as the Padres begin a critical 3-game series against the Dodgers. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We'll also hear from Fernando Tatis Jr., Jurickson Profar, Jackson Merrill, and in just a little bit, we check in with Tony Gwynn Jr. But first, let's set the table, brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971 with 3 locations, La Mesa, Vista, and Oceanside. Padres entered today 90-66. There are just 6 games remaining in the Padres season. Padres have won 8 of their last 9 games. They entered today sitting in the National League's first wild card spot, 3 games ahead of the New York Mets, who are playing right now in Atlanta. Padres, meanwhile, 3 games back of the LA Dodgers for first place in the National League West. They hold the tiebreaker between these 2 teams. The Padres can very simply clinch a postseason spot with a win here today. Meanwhile, the Dodgers come in 93-63. They've won 4 of their last 5, just won 2 of 3 from the Rockies over the weekend. And before we turn our full attention to this massive series in LA, let's revisit what happened on Sunday against the White Sox.
How did the Padres fare in their last game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind. Presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
The Padres trailed 1-0 heading to the bottom half of the third. Then Jurickson Profar tied it up.
3-1 pitch, and Profar sends it in the air to left field. Pretty well struck. Benintendi's going back. He's looking up. It's going to go! Profar with a game-tying homer. 1-1 here in the third.
The score was still tied at 1 heading to the top of the 6th inning. Miguel Vargas hit a solo home run to give the White Sox a 2-1 lead. Yu Darvish went 6 innings and a third, allowed just the 2 runs. We went to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Padres still down 2-1. Donovan Solano hit a leadoff double down the left field line to put the tying run in scoring position. Tyler Wade pinch ran. The Padres then pinch hit with Luis Arraez.
3-2. Fraser Eller delivers. Arraez lines it the other way. That is a fair ball down the left field line. Wade rounding third. He's going to score. Benintendi's throw going to second. Wide of the mark. An RBI double for Arraez in the pinch. And a 2-2 game here in the 8th.
Brandon Lockridge then pinch ran for Arraez. He went to third base on a wild pitch. Jurickson Profar drove Lockridge home with a sac fly. The Padres had a 3-2 lead. They weren't done. Fernando Tatis Jr. was next.
Eller kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. Hit in the air. Deep to left field. Benintendi back. He's going to watch. It's going to go! 20th of the year for Fernando Tatis Jr. And the Padres add on. It's 4-2.
A 4-2 game going to the top of the 9th inning. Robert Suarez put on the finishing touch.
1-2 to Gavin Sheets. Here's the pitch from Suarez. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Came back with a changeup and got him. Padres win their 90th game of this season. Just the 5th time in franchise history they've done that. They go 3-up on Arizona for the top wild card spot in the National League. And on the other side, the White Sox become only the 2nd team in modern Major League history to lose 120 games.
Padres with a very nice and very clean sweep of the White Sox 3 games. Day off yesterday, and now they come up to LA to begin this 3-game series here tonight. First pitch coming up at 7:10. Let's go upstairs here at Dodger Stadium and check in with Tony Gwynn Jr.
Let's go inside the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup from Tony Gwynn Jr. in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
Tony, obviously a very big series here in L.A. Padres have really a wonderful opportunity in front of them, not just to clinch a postseason spot with a win here tonight, but to make things very, very interesting in the National League West. And I thought earlier today, being inside the clubhouse, hearing guys talk, Padres have a quiet confidence about them. They've really had that all year, especially in the second half. And I also thought that guys didn't want to make necessarily too big a deal out of this series, out of these games. They just want to continue playing the way they've played, which has been playing very good baseball. How do you frame tonight's game in L.A. and the opportunity the Padres have this week at Dodger Stadium?
Sam, I don't know what big game you speak of as you talk about it. No, how would I phrase this game? I think, from a fan standpoint, it's super exciting. I think the Padres being 3 games behind this team with a 3-game series in front and 3 more games after is exciting for San Diegans who've been following this team all year and for Padre fans alike. But I think for the players, I believe them when they say that I think they know what's in front of them and what the possibilities could be. But they've known that all season long, and I truly believe they've felt that way all season long. And how they've gotten here is by locking in on each individual game and really playing that game out as it is. And so it's not a surprise for me to hear that guys, aren't really trying to put too much into it and are locked in on just going out and continuing to play the type of baseball they have for the past couple of weeks.
Tony, let's talk about this starting pitching matchup, and we begin with right-hander Michael King on the mound for the Padres. Obviously, he's been just terrific this season. He's arguably been, from start to finish, their best starting pitcher all year, and as of late, he's been in the midst of a great run. I want to ask you about Michael King against this Dodger lineup in particular. You've got Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, Muncy, Smith, 1 through 6 in this lineup. What do you see as the keys here tonight for Michael King as he faces the Dodgers for already a 4th time this season?
Well, I think, you've got a mixed bag in terms of the decisions he got. His first time out against his team, he struggled. He gave up 4 long balls, but he had a start there where he threw up a 0 and really threw well. Had 11 punch-outs against him. So you've seen the best version and the worst version of Michael King against this lineup. And for Michael, it's really about what he needs to do in order to go out and have success. And for him, it's being able to command that fastball earlier, whether it's the sinker or down and away or that kind of lane changer he throws on the inside to lefties. He's got to be able to command that, because when he does, it really opens up the rest of his stuff. That sweeper is electric. We know the changeup, he'll throw to lefties and righties alike, and it's all predicated on his fastball command. When he has that going, he's tough to deal with.
Yeah, we'll see how Michael King does here tonight against this Dodger lineup. Let's talk about the other side of this pitching matchup here tonight. That's young right-hander Landon Knack on the mound for the Dodgers, a guy who's been up and down between AAA and the major leagues quite a few times this season. What do you see as the keys here tonight for the Padres? Obviously an offense that has pretty much been great all year. Their keys tonight against the guy they haven't seen before in Landon Knack.
Same keys that they always have. This is a ball club that has thrived on, as I like to say, dragging pitchers out to the deep end and basically taking them under from there. And with a young pitcher that hasn't faced a lineup that can be, taxing on your pitch count, we'll see how he handles it. I think the Padres' approach doesn't change. And now, on the Dodger side, in terms of Landon Knack, this is a guy that competes. Even when he's not necessarily having the best command days, he still goes out and competes. That's why this organization likes him a little bit. But I think for the Padres, it's business as usual in terms of their offensive approach.
Tony, before I let you go, I just want to touch on Fernando Tatis Jr. in the midst of an 11-game hitting streak, a home run on Sunday against the White Sox. He has 6 home runs and 4 doubles in that 11-game hitting streak, and he's a guy who's had big-time moments against the Dodgers and in this building. What have you seen from Fernando in this 11-game hitting streak and really since he's come off the IL?
To be honest with you, I don't think that Toddy is clicking on all cylinders despite the 11-game hitting streak. I think there have been a couple of games in which he's had really kind of bad nights, but the last at bat, as you just kind of alluded to in terms of big moments, that's what he thrives in. And so regardless of how the day may have looked, if he gets into those type of moments, you can expect anything from Toddy. But I actually think he's still trying to find his rhythm. You know, he's still kind of chasing that breaking ball off the plate. They're still running that fastball in that they get in the offer. You know Toddy is right when he's laying off that fastball in that they're running off the plate and laying off the soft stuff down in the way, because once he does that, he starts to box these pitchers up, and that's when he starts to have like the electric performances. But nonetheless, this is one of those big-time moments. This is when he shows out the most.
All right, Tony, appreciate the time as always, and we'll talk to you and Jesse coming up at the very top of the hour at 7 p.m. here at Dodger Stadium. As always, thanks so much.
No problem, Sam.
All right, that's Tony Gwynn Jr. joining us on the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show here on the Padres Radio Network as we get ready for tonight's game. Series opener between the Padres and the LA Dodgers. Game one of this three-game set. Padres come in with a real opportunity to make some noise here in LA. But first things first, they got to take care of business here tonight, and we have a lot to do as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 7:10. We'll hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. We'll hear from Jurickson Profar. We'll hear from Jackson Merrill, and we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt when we return. First pitch coming up in just a little bit up here in L.A. at Dodger Stadium. More pregame coverage after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Your water perfected. EcoWater SoCal. Your water should be perfect. Find them online at EcoWaterSoCal.com. Sam Levitt with you inside Dodger Stadium here in LA. First pitch coming up at 7:10. Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. coming your way at the very top of the hour. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up in just a moment. We'll also tell you who's hot, who's not. We have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later as well, and we'll hear from a trio of Padres players, including Fernando Tatis Jr., Jurickson Profar, and Jackson Merrill, as the Padres get ready for a big series up in L.A. Let's hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt before today's game.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
Mike, this is what it's all about. September baseball, playoffs on the line, division titles on the line. How fun is this for you?
Yeah, it's what you work hard to start thinking about in the off season, what these guys train for, what we prepare for, go through spring training for, and go through this point 156 games to get to this point where we're playing meaningful games for a division.
At the beginning of the season, a lot of people are looking at the schedule and they look at the final week of the season and seeing this matchup against the Dodgers, and it's proving to be pretty important. How fun is it taking place here, and what kind of energy are you expecting?
Oh, it'll be great energy. It's going to be really fun. It's we're excited about it, and we're going to go show up and get after it.
Talking to everybody in the clubhouse, they understand the importance of the series. Obviously, there's a lot on the line, but at the same time, everybody has just said, no, it's the same thing that we've been doing all season long. How much confidence do you have in this team in terms of what they've been doing and just taking that same approach here down the stretch?
Yeah, I got complete confidence team in general, and I got complete confidence team that we're going to not make things bigger than they are. We're going to go play baseball. We're going to prepare. We're going to trust our preparation. We're going to go look to do what the game calls for, as we talked about the Toddy phrase early in spring training, and we're just going to go play.
Michael King's been throwing the ball so well of late in his last outing against the Dodgers. He was really dominant in that appearance. How much are you looking forward to seeing him continuing to do what he's been doing so much all season long?
Yeah, I mean, Kinger's been great for us all season. He's been good against these guys. He's been good lately. Just been good. So looking forward to him. Michael's ready to get out there and compete, and it's going to be fun.
Do these types of games prep you for postseason in terms of the intensity that's going on right now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, but I feel like the postseason is hard to replicate, but I do feel like we replicate it every day in our preparation and how we compete. So when we get there, we're not going to do anything other than just play the game.
As far as Landon Knack on the mound for the Dodgers tonight, obviously a young starting pitcher, somebody you guys haven't seen before. What goes into preparing for a guy like this late in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're familiar with what he does. We don't have any at-bats really against him. Ahmed's got a couple, but we don't know too much about him other than what we've been able to do our intel on. But, we just got through playing a couple clubs that we hadn't played all season in Houston and the White Sox. And at this stage and this level and these guys, the club we have, we're going to do our homework and be ready to compete with what we know he's going to do to us.
No, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, but how fortunate do you think you guys are? I know nobody throws complete games anymore, but if you got to the playoffs to have a rotation where everybody can give you 6 at a time when most guys don't even have 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been on display more recently. I'm a big advocate of your best bullpen's a good starting rotation and a good offense. And so our rotation's been fantastic, and it's been really good recently as far as being able to go deep into games. And we always just monitor what the game looks like and what it tells us as well. We do have a deep bullpen, but it is nice that we've been able to have starters go deep recently, been able to, between off days and depth of our bullpen, been able to pass the ball around and be effective to bring games home.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt before today's game. We'll hear more from Mike on our post-game show coming up later on this evening as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 7:10 here at Dodger Stadium. Crowd filing in, the grounds crew getting the playing surface ready, and it should be a fun night of baseball. Again, the Padres can clinch a postseason spot with a win here tonight. There is another scenario where the Padres could clinch a spot with a D-backs, they could clinch a spot here tonight with, I want to make sure I get this right because I'm reading something here that I don't think is correct. They could clinch a spot here tonight either by winning here or with a win from the Diamondbacks and a win for the Mets. But again, the Mets are losing right now in the 8th inning in Atlanta, 5-1. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up later. So it looks like there's a pretty good shot. That scenario may not play out. But again, we come back to this. Padres have the opportunity right in front of them here tonight. Win, and they clinch a postseason spot. Let's tell you who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to kick things up another notch? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not on the Padres Radio Network.
We begin with a look at the hot category. Let's focus on Jurickson Profar. 2 more hits and a home run on Sunday. He's batting .345 in his last 15 games with 3 home runs and 4 doubles in that span. That follows a 22-game stretch from mid-August to early September where he hit .165, so it's been very good to see Profar get it going once again. Fernando Tatis Jr. also in the hot category in the midst of an 11-game hitting streak, batting .340 in that span with 6 home runs and 4 doubles. So look at the not category. Jake Cronenworth had 3 hits on Friday, but then he went 0 for 7 in the final 2 games of the series against the White Sox. He's batting just .132 in his last 11 games. In fact, if you look the month of September, Cronenworth has just 1 extra base hit in 18 games. Jake Cronenworth does not have an RBI this month. So again, 3 hits on Friday, but then an 0 for the rest of the series against the White Sox. We keep Jake in the not category, at least for today. We'll see if Cronenworth can get it going here tonight in LA. And that's a look at who's hot, who's not, as we get ready for this series opener against the Dodgers. One player the Padres certainly will rely on in this series is Jackson Merrill, maybe the rookie of the year here in 2024. Certainly has had some wonderful moments against the Dodgers earlier this season. Here was my question earlier today for Jackson inside the Padres clubhouse.
Jackson, this team has had some good success against the Dodgers so far this year. You've had some nice moments against this team. What do you feel like you guys in particular have done well against this group?
I don't really think we've done anything different. I think everything's been the same way. You know, it's just at the end of the day, the outcome is more towards us. So, you know, we just play the same version of baseball we want to play good baseball, clean baseball, and that's what happens.
Does it matter to you how you guys get into the playoffs, wild card division or anything else?
No, we don't care. I mean, obviously everybody wants to win their division, but, you know, if we're in, we got a shot at it. So, you know, we just want a shot. That's what we want.
This was your first chance to go through a season-long series with the Dodgers. Probably had heard about it, but how is it different now that you've experienced it?
Yeah, you know, I kind of just treat it the same as the minors. You know, you face organizations, you face them a couple times during the year, but, you know, just like the White Sox, they're a good team. You know, they're a baseball team. They're here to play baseball just like us, so it doesn't really matter if it's the Dodgers, the Giants, or what season series happen. You know, we're here to play baseball.
That was Jackson Merrill earlier today inside the Padres clubhouse. And again, we'll hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jurickson Profar coming up a little bit later as well. When we come back, we take a look at our keys to the game, a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Much more to come as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 7:10 here at Chavez Ravine in L.A. Padres and the Dodgers, the start of a critical 3-game series in the National League West in the final week of the regular season. Our pregame coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside Dodger Stadium here in L.A. Crowd filing in as we get ready for Game 1 of this 3-game series. Padres come into today in control of their own fate in the NL West. It's very simple right now, as crazy or not crazy as this might sound. Padres win out their final 6 games of the regular season. They're automatically NL West champions, but first things first, one game at a time. Padres beginning a 3-game series against the Dodgers, sitting 3 games behind LA for first place in the National League West, and the Padres, of course, already hold the tiebreaker. They've already won the season series against the Dodgers here in 2024, and beyond that, we know the Padres, if they do win here tonight, they clinch a postseason spot. So the Padres, with some dreams of maybe popping some champagne later on this evening in LA, we'll see if they can do it here tonight with right-hander Michael King on the mound. Let's tell you about one Padre back in the lineup today, one Dodger back in the lineup today, as we update you on things on our injury report.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
Let's begin with the Padres. Luis Arraez back in the lineup today after a day off on Sunday. That was an effort to give him back-to-back off days after he jammed his left knee on a slide at home plate early last week. Arraez obviously very important to this Padre lineup, batting .407 in his last 21 games. Max Muncy was out of the lineup for the Dodgers on Sunday against the Rockies due to general body soreness. He is back in the lineup here tonight, playing third base and batting fifth, and he's been big for the Dodgers as of late. 4 home runs in his last 14 games. So Arraez didn't play on Sunday, Muncy didn't play on Sunday, but both those guys in their respective lineups here today. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what's going on this final Tuesday of the regular season.
Let's take a trip around the Bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
We have a few finals already today. Brewers beat the Pirates 7-2 in Pittsburgh. Guardians beat the Reds 6-1 in Cleveland. Guardians clinching a first-round bye and home field advantage in the American League Division Series with that win over Cincinnati today. Cubs beat the Phillies 10-4 in Philadelphia. Tigers behind Tarek Skubal going 7 scoreless innings beat the Rays today 2-1 in Detroit. The red-hot Tigers, who currently hold the second wild card spot in the American League. They have been quite a story. Games going on right now. Nationals and the Royals are scoreless in the 8th inning in D.C. Orioles ahead of the Yankees 4-1 in New York in the 7th inning. Red Sox and the Blue Jays are tied at 3 in Toronto in the 8th inning. Angels and the White Sox in the 5th inning in Chicago. They're scoreless there. The White Sox next loss will be a record-setting 121st new modern era Major League record, but again, they're scoreless in Chicago right now in the 5th. Marlins 4, Twins 1 in Minnesota in the 7th inning. Astros 4, Mariners 3 in Houston in the 6th inning. Cardinals and the Rockies in Colorado. Cardinals leading 2-1 in the 4th inning. This game just went final in Atlanta. Braves beat the Mets 5-1 in Atlanta just moments ago. So that means the Braves are now a game behind the Mets for the 3rd and final wild card spot in the National League at the moment. And what it also means, the Mets needed to win tonight for that scenario where the Padres didn't win this game but still clinched tonight. So that's not going to happen tonight as far as something else happening and the Padres not winning here and they still clinch. Padres got to win this game now to clinch a postseason spot here tonight. That's really what you need to know. Again, the Braves just beat the Mets 5-1 in Atlanta. And games yet to begin. Giants and the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Big game for Arizona. Rangers and the A's in Oakland. Final series at Oakland Coliseum starting there. And the Padres and the Dodgers, of course, coming up here in L.A. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Tuesday, and I'm sure Jesse and Tony will keep you up to the minute on the score in Arizona, and we'll see what happens with the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Obviously a game that has implications for the Padres potentially as well. Well, Fernando Tatis Jr., like we said, in the midst of an 11-game hitting streak. He spoke with the media earlier today inside the Padres clubhouse. Here was Fernando on how the Padres have had so much success as of late.
We just come together as a group. I feel like everybody know what they're capable of over here, and what's their part to do, and I feel everybody just checking in at the right time.
I know some of the guys have said that you and Luis is the spark plug of this team, but from your standpoint, like, who would that be? Who would you see as like the spark plug?
Oh man, I'd say everybody. Everybody in that lineup in this clubhouse, I bring some of the different energy. Everybody's pushing for each other, and everybody on the field is just a different character, and we just feed from each other, and we're definitely having fun.
And how exciting is it to have this type of important baseball come down the stretch here?
It's amazing, playing these games. Just everybody paying attention. Everybody knows how important they are. So, everybody just rising to the occasion and trying to be in their best game.
And how confident are you guys come down here in the final week as good baseball as you're playing right now?
We're definitely confident, but at the end of the day, everybody knows how hard this game is. So, we're gonna take our chances every day. We're gonna take care of the day, and then we pay attention to the other things when it's time. But we're definitely taking care of business a day at a time.
Fernando, obviously this is a big series here. You've had a lot of big moments in this ballpark against this team. From that perspective, being here right now, what's your anticipation for this series?
Just big energy all the way around. Everybody knows how good a team we're facing. So, but everybody knows how good we are. So, we're just gonna play really good IQ baseball out there.
Why have you guys played so well and had so much success against the Dodgers this season? That wasn't always the case in the history of the series, but this year you guys certainly flipped the script.
Just the team that we have, the confidence, the confidence that this group has shown since day one, and I feel like that really matters a lot. So, but at the end of the day, we just has played better the last few games, but we're going to see what unfolds now.
How long was yesterday as an off day, kind of anticipating guys coming up here and starting this series?
It was a calm day before the storm, but it was really good and much needed, especially late September. But the boys are fresh, and we're just going to bring some good game of baseball here.
How much do you enjoy playing in Dodger Stadium, and what about this atmosphere seems to bring out some of your best highlight moments?
Just the competition itself. I truly embrace competition, and that's a really competitive group out there, and they have shown it for the last I don't know how many years, but they're just good, and everybody just you just want to rise to the occasion and you just play even better baseball.
That was Fernando Tatis Jr. earlier today inside the Padres clubhouse talking about this series against the Dodgers. We'll hear a little bit more from Jerks and Profar coming up in our next segment. First pitch at 7:10 here in L.A. Players are starting to get warmed up down the right field and left field lines. In right field, the Padres. Left field, the Dodgers. Grounds crew getting the field ready. Crowd filing in. Should be a fun night of baseball. Game one of this 3-game set coming up in just a little bit. Let's give you our keys to tonight's game.
How will the Padres unlock a victory in today's game? These are the keys to the game. Presented by Honor Buick GMC Hummer in National City.
Key number 1, get Manny going again. Machado went 0 in the final 2 games of the series against the White Sox. In fact, he went just 1 for 11 in that 3-game series. The one hit was a single. Before that series began, Manny had been in the midst of an 11-game stretch where he hit .378, 6 home runs, 3 doubles, and 18 RBIs. Manny Machado has 5 home runs and 38 at-bats against the Dodgers this season. Getting Manny going once again in this series Padres a huge key. That's key number 1. Key number 2, keep the offense flowing against the Dodgers. It is not just about Manny, but the Padres have been a great offensive team against the Dodgers this season. In the 10 games against LA this year, the Padres have scored 53 runs and hit 14 home runs. It sounds like a simple key. It is, but keep this offense flowing. You're facing a rookie starting pitcher tonight in Landon Knack. This should hypothetically be somebody the Padres can hit, maybe grab a lead against, maybe even get to early. That's key number 2. Key number 3, stop the show. And I'm talking about Shohei Ohtani, baseball's first ever 50-50 player, 53 home runs entering tonight, along with 55 stolen bases. His last 4 games, 14 for 18. 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, and 9 runs scored. He's also 5 for 12 with 3 home runs against Michael King. So a big question tonight, a big key here tonight and in this series. Can King and the Padres bullpen somehow, some way, slow down Shohei Ohtani? And that brings us to key number 4. No Mookie magic. Mookie Betts has 9 home runs and 33 RBIs in 38 games since coming off the IL. He had a walk-off home run on Sunday against the Rockies. That was just moments after Shohei Ohtani tied that game on Sunday with a home run, limiting Ohtani and then Betts. And I didn't even mention Freddie Freeman. 1, 2, 3 at the very top of this LA lineup. That's a big key, and specifically Mookie Betts. He's played really well since coming off the IL. And that's a look at our keys to Game 1 of this 3-game series. When we come back, we have a full breakdown of our starting pitching matchup between Michael King and Landon Knack. Plus, we hear from Mr. Relevant, Jurickson Profar. We hear from Pro when we return. First pitch coming up at 7:10 on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside Dodger Stadium in L.A. They are filling in the seats here at Chavez Ravine. Players warming up in right field and left field. The grounds crew has finished up getting the playing surface ready. Should be a fun night of baseball as the Padres begin this huge 3-game series at Dodger Stadium in L.A. We'll hear from Jurickson Profar in just a moment. We'll break down our pitching matchup between Michael King and Landon Knack. But first, let's tell you what to watch for in this series opener.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For, presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovementsSD.com.
What to watch for in today's game. Normally in this segment, I'll point out some numbers or a stat, or we'll go through some players, but I'm going to keep this real simple here tonight. What to watch for in this game? Can the Padres clinch a postseason spot? This is the first time this year the Padres have had an opportunity where it's really simple. They win and they're in. They clinch a postseason spot in 2024. Can the Padres do that here tonight? Mets lost earlier tonight, so that opportunity to clinch a spot even without a win here in LA tonight, that's out the door. But the Padres can clinch a spot here tonight. It would be the 8th playoff appearance in club history, the last being in 2022. Can the Padres get it done here tonight? Can they create a situation where they're popping champagne later on this evening at Dodger Stadium? Quite frankly, that's what everybody's watching for here tonight. And, of course, can the Padres pull themselves within 2 games of first place in the National League West? Jurickson Profar, Mr. Relevant. Remember the last time the Padres were here? That's when the back and forth happened with Will Smith. Really not back and forth, just Will Smith said something. Jurickson then answered with his play on the field, and that really seemed to spark this incredible season from Jurickson Profar. Here was Pro earlier today on what it's like to play such important games in the final week of the regular season.
It's very important, but at the same time, just go on and have fun and play the baseball that we've been playing for the last couple months.
Seems like you guys have been playing some of your best baseball here in the last couple of months, to your point. But how much confidence do you guys have here coming down to the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, we're confident. We believe in each other, and like I said, just go out and play our baseball.
To have a chance to get this division, especially do it in this place against this team you guys have had such a really good heated rivalry with, does it add just a little bit extra fuel to that fire?
Not really. I'm going to continue to say we just come here and play our baseball. That's it.
How do you do that? How do you keep that? Because human nature is kind of to think about things, overanalyze things. How do you keep it just on that level of it's just another day?
It's just, the guys that we have in here. If everybody do their job and what they've been doing, we're going to be in a really good place.
And you just mentioned fun. How much fun have you had this year?
A lot. This team, it's a lot of fun.
Every time you come here, Padres Dodgers, it's a hostile environment. What do you expect tonight with so much on the line for both teams?
Yeah, I expect it to be electric, and we're ready for it.
How much do you feed off that type of angry, buzzing?
A lot, all these games, these last games are going to be playoff games. And this series and the next one is going to prepare us for the playoffs.
That was Jurickson Profar inside the Padres clubhouse earlier today. Let's dive into our pitching matchup between Michael King and Landon Knack.
Let's take a look at who's on the bump today with our starting pitching preview. Presented by Chimney Sweeps, Inc., San Diego's trusted chimney and fireplace service company for 40 years. Call Chimney Sweeps, Inc. at 1-800-CHIMNEY or book an inspection online at chimneysweepsinc.com.
On the mound for the Dodgers, right-hander Landon Knack, a 27-year-old rookie. He's been up and down between AAA and the major leagues all year. 3-4 with the Dodgers so far this season, 3.39 ERA, 13 outings, 11 starts, 61 innings, 61 strikeouts, and 17 walks. Knack is really good against left-handed batters. They're hitting just 170 against them. Righties are at 250 on the year. Knack went 5 scoreless innings against the Marlins in his last start. His start before that one in Atlanta was was not very good. 2 innings, 5 earned runs given up on 7 hits. He gave up 2 home runs that day. Opponents are hitting just .209 against Knack, but a quarter of the hits against him in the major leagues have been home runs this year. 12 home runs allowed of the 48 total hits given up. He has not faced the Padres yet in this rookie season. Meanwhile, on the mound for the Padres, right-hander Michael King, the 29-year-old, in the midst of a great year. 12-9, a 3.04 ERA, 30 outings, 168-plus innings. He struck out 198. He's walked 61. King has the 4th lowest ERA in the NL, 5th most strikeouts in the NL. His .222 batting average against ranks as the 5th lowest in the NL. His last start against the Astros, he was once again really good. 7 innings, 2 earned runs given up on 5 hits. He has a .216 ERA. In his last 13 starts going back to late June, he has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any of those starts. King has faced the Dodgers 3 times this season, once in Korea. That was a relief appearance. Gave up 3 earned runs in 3 innings and a third. Then April 12th in LA, 5 innings, 4 earned runs given up. He allowed 4 home runs in that game. And then a really good start on May 10th in San Diego. He went 7 scoreless innings, struck out 11 his last start against the Dodgers. So hopefully that version of Michael King in this series opener here tonight. That's a look at our starting pitching matchup between the Padres' Michael King and the Dodgers' Landon Knack. You've been listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show on the Padres Radio Network. EcoWater SoCal, your water should be perfect. Find them online at EcoWaterSoCal.com. When we come back, Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our postgame show. You're listening to your home for San Diego Padres baseball, 97.3 The Fan, and the Padres Radio Network. Enjoy the game, everybody.